To get started on this exercise, you should have downloaded the callout folder and locate the callout Start After Effects file. When you open in After Effects, you'll notice that it has a movie and everything's already animated for us. But there's a slight problem. We want this line to be able to follow one particular point on this film, and you can see how it's getting off. So what we're going to do is known as motion tracking. Now when using motion tracking, you need to start off with some footage. In this case, the very bottom layer is this Scrooge movie. The next thing we need to do is to be able to record a single point in space. In order to do this, with the Scrooge movie layer selected, let's go up to let's go up to Animation, down to Track Motion. This is going to ask us to find a single point for us to be able to track. In order to do this, I'm going to click on this inside point, not the center, not the edge, and we're going to drag it until we have a nice high contrast area right here on the edge of his bag. Next, let's choose our intended target. If you go over to your tracker panel, which should have opened, under the motion target, let's choose Edit Target, and then from our pop-up menu, let's choose Layer 8, which is our pre-comp circle for Scrooge. We'll say OK to this. To have it start analyzing, click on the little forward play button. This will play forward and start to track that particular motion. It may take a few seconds to do it, but once it's finished, now it's rendered out and it has all this nice data that shows where that particular set is moving towards and moving around. Actually, if you were to open up the layer, you can see where all of these different little keyframes are moving through just on the Scrooge layer. To apply this to our layer 8 for our pre-comp that we have, click the Apply button, and this is going to apply the X and Y dimensions to that layer 8. We'll say OK to this. If you were to press play now, you can see that that small circle now follows that particular area because we've applied that data to that particular place. Now that it's following with the circle, let's apply all of that data to the end of this line as well. If we go down to our pre-comp Circle Maker Scrooge layer, we can twirl open its transformation properties, or we can hit the P key to just see the position and all the keyframes that are now applied to its position. Let's also twirl open the connector line layer that's above it. Then we can twirl open the effects for a beam. So here's our beam. And you'll notice that our beam has a starting point. Let's hold down the Option or Alt key as we click on the stopwatch for this. This will open up the expression. And we want to connect the expression for the beam's starting point to the position within our pre-comp on layer 8. Now, if you can't see both of them at the same time, we may need to readjust the height of both of those. There we go. Now I can see both of them. All right, so with this effect selected, let's click on the little spiral next to the expression for our starting point and drag it down to the position of this here. This means it's going to pick up the position of all of this pre-comp and change its starting point. From here, now you can see the beam is going to animate and stay with everything once it decides to render. There we go. And it will follow along its starting point with its ending point. Once we're done with this, we can save our After Effects file, load it up into the exporter, and also export the movie, and upload both the movie and the After Effects file to the class page.